Good morning, Bayview Mac Race fans. I'm Dobbs Davis here to give you the Sunday morning video analysis program for this 101st edition of this great race. As usual, we'll open up the scene with the tracker from YB. This is as I explained in yesterday's show, there's two versions of this, a legacy version and a new version. I'm going to continue to use the legacy version because I think there's a lot of features here that help us understand what's going on. I will say here, 6:30 in the morning in the East Coast time zone. It's early, but any of us who are watching this that are sailors just are exceptionally jealous of what these guys are doing out there. The conditions are just phenomenal. Everybody's going fast. There's no thunderstorms. There's great wind, both in the first leg. We're opening here with the Cove Island fleet, of course. They've made great progress overnight. The leaders, as you can see, have already gone around Cove Island and are headed toward the finish at Mackinac, and everybody's moving along. So this is going to be a memorable version of this race for sure. So a couple things, let's see. I'm going to share with you, courtesy of my friends on the J120 Hot Ticket, the following video they sent me. So I want to thank Trish Kirkman for this. Hopefully everybody can see it, but this was taken on board yesterday afternoon. There's no better way to describe this than what we do in the Pacific and the Transpac is champagne sailing. Team is all obviously in position. Everybody's excited. Everybody is focused. Look at the smiles there. I just had to share this with everyone because I think this tells a story, for what everybody's experiencing. At this stage, I think yesterday, and again, nobody's looking at phones here. They're focused on sailing, but those of us that are here in the digital world and unable to do this in person can look to see where they were in the leaderboard, and actually they were up in the front in their class. They're back and forth now with another rival, but we'll get to that in a moment. Anyway, I wanted to share that with you, and then I'll scroll forward to another video sent this morning from that team and what it looks like at sunrise. This came in about half an hour ago or so. So all night, going downwind. Now they're going upwind. This is on the leg toward Mackinac Island from Cove Island. Again, champagne conditions, not very windy, but enough to get the boats powered up and heeled over. From what I'm seeing here, it looks like about maybe 10 knots of wind. They are nearly fetching, so not a lot of upwind beating. You can see everybody is more or less on track. Let's put the wind overlay on and see how close that comes to telling the story. And it's not that bad, actually. We'll zoom in a little bit better here. So looks like breeze has not shifted all the way to the west like we thought it was at this time yesterday in the forecast. It suggested they were going to be almost purely upwind, but now they're on a port tack fetch, maybe even slightly reaching. The lead boats out here are the usual, I'll call the usual suspects, so I can't really use that name because there is a team out here with a Reichel Pew 52 by that name. But the TP 52s, Mockingbird won this race last year. They're defending champion in this class. 8.6 knots for a TP 52 suggests to me that it's probably, maybe 10 knots of wind and probably upwind or very close to that. If they were borne off at all with some reaching angles, they would be probably half a knot or so faster. So, but nonetheless, so going upwind-ish and making great tracks and great progress. They're tied up with Natalie J, who was trading the leads with Mockingbird last night. I was watching that. And then Bob Hughes, of course, positioning himself a little bit further to the south. Bob has been a past winner in this class, in this race. So these three are quite strong contenders for that leading position coming into the finish at Mackinac. which, by the way, is how far? According to this sked was just updated. It's just inside 80 miles. So you all can do the math. 80 miles, 8 knots, 10 hours from now, looking good. Now, then you might think, well, what about a course record? I mean, is that at all possible? And frankly, the answer is no. The course record on this is held by, let's see, where are my notes? Course record was held by Il Mostro, Volvo 70, and that record was set in 2017 with a time of 21 hours 44 minutes. So I don't think they're going to get there in that amount of time, but nonetheless, this is going to be a fast edition of this race for sure. Quickly, let's look, while we're still on Cove Island, at the leaderboards. I'm going to use my next show to explain the complications involved in scoring and how this is done. But just to give you a quick overview, if you do click on that tab and have a look on leaderboards, this gives you an idea of who's doing well in corrected time from the start. So Mockingbird in the lead but not by much. There's 8 minutes there in corrected time at this stage in the race over Natalie J, Phil O'Neill and his team, Bob Hughes, the other 52 that's out there, Hooligan Racing, and so on. If we go in detail, and that's the entire fleet, and this is on everybody's scored using ORC scoring. So on this course, everybody can therefore be scored fairly. If you want to drill into what's going on other classes, there's Class A. That's interesting. This is a Santa Cruz 70. Stripes is actually ahead of them slightly in corrected time, but again, not by much. So there's an estimated finish time on here, and you see that it's going to be mid-afternoon today. We'll see for these guys. Now, the TP's coming in at around a little before 2 o'clock. Again, that's based on current, the distance to go and the current speed that they have on the course. If the forecast holds out, this great wind that they're having now may die back a bit and of course, then slow them down a little. So, but anyway, this is a kind of a snapshot of what's happening now. That's Class A. Class B, Red Herring. This is an interesting boat. It is very interesting. It's a very narrow boat that's a ketch and has a canting keel. It was built at Goujon. No, it was built actually in Rhode Island, and it's really unusual boat. Very well. You'll see some photos, and maybe I'll share them later. But it's good to see that they're actually, as a Canadian entry, doing well in corrected time in Class B. Next is actually our title sponsor's boat. Tim Riviere is the head of the National Fleet Services, and his boat, Italia 13.98 Eagle 1, is now sitting in second position. But again, this can all change, so there's going to be a fight there. Class C, no surprise, is doing well. I think they were up on the leaderboard last night. And let's see, Class D, Funtech Racing is J120. These J120s from Bayview are always at each other. They're very competitive. Hot Ticket is the team whose video I got and shared with you. You can see, I mean, again, if you believe all this, exceptionally close and corrected in actual time. They don't rate exactly the same, but they're very close. So that's going to be a competitive class to watch. This is interesting here in the smaller boats on this course in Class E. Another Canadian entry, C4, is up in the leading position in corrected time. Let me see if I have some notes here on C4. Yeah, this is an SR33, fairly fast boat, and so we'll see how they're able to. They had a great downwind leg, obviously, and they're going quite fast now at 8 knots compared to some of their rivals at half a knot slower. Power Trip is is let's see, that's a trip 33. So anyway, this is going to be another interesting class to watch. Class F, Consig, yeah, they're actually doing well. This had a different leaderboard a few hours ago, where Snipe was actually in the lead last night. And then Class G is the slowest of the boats out on the Cove Island course. Chuck Storms is doing well with Detour. That's an Italia 9.98. But another Canadian entry is knocking on the doors in the runner-up position now. Let's switch over, if we can, to the Shore course. Get that tab to work. There we go. So on the Shore course, they're making great progress as well. 204 miles is what they have on their course length versus 260 miles for Cove Island. And let's scroll in here. So looks like the wind held overnight. Last night I was concerned in looking at the forecast breeze for today that a big light air hole was going to develop in this part of the race course, but at least as of now, 6:30 in the morning, it's not there. They've got great breeze, and look, and their angles, by the way, as you can notice on this southwest breeze, is reaching. So these guys are going very fast. they're enjoying this, port tack all day, all night. And in the lead at this point is Jim Wayans' Turbo One Design 35. It's got a bigger rig plan than the One Design configuration of this boat. They've been a perennial competitor and leader in this class. We'll do the same thing here with our leaderboard. So, yeah, overall, Chico 2 in the lead. And again, reaching positions. I'm not sure what they might have. They might have in their sale inventory. I'd have to look at their certificate, but I think they've got a reaching headsail that flies from the end of the bowsprit. So that's even more power available to at these reaching angles. The question is whether the wind velocity is too much to handle that sail for this 35-foot boat. But that combination, along with a staysail or even a jib hanging on the headstay, would be really exceptionally fast. So that may account for where they are. Utah was actually the leader. This is a J111, double-handed, by the way. J111 that was in the lead of the fleet last night, 8 o'clock. But right now, in corrected time, Chico's got them by a bit. Warsaw is another J111, I believe, double-handed. I think that's right. Anyway, so that's overall. We can also go down through classes and look to see who's doing well. Yeah, that's interesting. Shape is out there in this, and let's see. Actually, I don't have any notes on. Well, we can do this. We can find them on the course, and they are here. And Shape is a Santana 35, very popular boat from the 1980s in Southern California. They too, maybe they've got a combination in their reaching headsails that's allowing them to pop out in front. So they're going along quite well. Actually, you know who was ahead last night in corrected time was Tar Baby, which is a Tartan 10. So big diversity of boats in that class. Class I like this, Spencer Channel's Morgan 35. This is, when you look at this boat, it doesn't look like a race boat at all. I think Spencer calls this boat frumpy. He's a great guy. He's actually your local measurer there in the Bayview area. And I'm pleased to see that he's doing well with his boat on this course. And we already talked about double-handed. Now, interesting. This is in corrected time, right? So we saw Utah was out there in elapsed time leading, but in corrected time, these guys, Spaghetto Bite, that's a Hunter 33 shoal draft. So I would say not particularly fast boat that is associated with racing nonetheless. Steve Straub and whoever he's sailing with. I don't have his partner's name on that boat, but under corrected time, they're actually doing pretty well. This is the great thing about the ORC system is it can fairly rate a wide variety of boats as long as you get the dimensions correct and let the rating rule do its work and have the scoring system work. Then we can get fair racing and give a chance for boats like this. The Cruiser Racer class K, La Rive is out in front in corrected time there. This again is not a race boat. It's an Arcona. That's a Swedish designed and built cruiser racer. Quite popular in Europe actually. But they're reaching along at 7.5 knots and doing well there. The other cruiser racer class L. Here's our perennial favorite. I keep going on about Jeremy Thompson because again, this boat, when you look at it, is race boat wouldn't come to mind, put it that way. Yet Jeremy is an exceptionally good sailor. He knows his course exceptionally well, and he generally wins this race on this course. Last year, with the light air weather, he was even up in the top 10, I believe, against the TPs and overall scoring. So, yeah, keep an eye on Jeremy. He's a defending champion in this class on this course, and rolling along at 7 knots in that Grampian 30 from, I think that design was maybe 1979, maybe 1980. So not a new boat at all. And then there's a cruising class. And these are boats that are indeed cruisers. Let's see if we can get that to light up. Oh, Challenge. Here we go. So there's Challenge. This a non-such 30. So would you want to be up against a boat like this? These are boats that have single sails. They have a mainsail that's on a rig that is positioned in the front of the boat. These are sloops that don't have big headsails. Their power is derived only from the mainsail. And they even have wishbone rigs. These are decidedly boats that are comfortable, easy to sail, and yet look how they're doing on this race. And again, this is because they're not going upwind. They are going reaching, and for their rating, they're going to be really quite fast and competitive in that. So Greg Doyle, great job. Keep it up in the cruising class. All right. This is what I have for this morning's show at 6:30 in the morning. I will come back this afternoon with an update show, and we'll see where this fleet gets. This is turning out to be an exceptional race in speed. There's everybody fetching like this, particularly on the short course, doesn't make the tactics that interesting because they're simply sailing straight line and it's all about speed. And then now let's actually do one thing, which is go forward in time. So if you look at that, here comes that big predicted hole in the wind at around let's see, that's 3:30 this afternoon. All we can do, I mean, if this is real, all we can do is hope that everybody here on the shore course is well past that by the time it starts to get light in this part of the race course. Let's see if a similar thing happens for the Cove Island. Yeah, every time you switch with this tracker software, every time you switch to the other course, you get it going back to the default settings, so you have to toggle everything that you need. And let's go forward to 3:30 this afternoon. And yes, so that wind hole is showing at that time of day, but the fleet of boats here that are still going downwind to the mark, so they're a little slower than the leaders. It still looks like it will be okay up here on the rum line, and by the wind direction, there'll be no reason for them to sag south and possibly get into this. If the wind shifts a bit to the right, that could be an issue. So, we'll see what happens in the dynamics of the wind vectors. Up in this part of the course, it definitely shows breeze shifting right, becoming more of a proper upwind beat. There, we just got a little advance in the skeds. But later this afternoon, boats like Ohana in that position might be a little bit at risk if we believe this big zone of blue here. So now, again, not Ohana. Ohana will be somewhere up here by that time of day. But for anybody back here that is still getting around the course, they want to make sure they stay up on rum line, or maybe even a little bit above if they feel the wind getting light. So, on behalf of National Fleet Services and Ventol and Vitelli Insurance Group, I'm Dobbs Davis here with the Sunday morning race analysis forecast. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you later this afternoon.